Okay, so everyone wants more views on YouTube, right? But it's so easy to get lost in all the advice out there.
It really is.
So today we're diving into YouTube optimization with someone who is actually getting the views. Software King.
Right.
They've used these tactics to grow their own channel, and
Yeah.
honestly, some of this stuff blew my mind.
Yeah, you think you know, and then YouTube's like, nope,
Exactly.
changes it up.
It's like this black box, constantly changing.
Hmm.
So are you ready to decode the algorithm a little bit today?
I am so ready. Let's do it.
Okay, let's dive in. So one thing I thought was so interesting, Software King had this tip about pre-upload strategy, right?
Yes.
That I feel like even seasoned creators sleep on.
Yeah. 100%.
It has to do with file names.
File names are so important. Most people, they don't even realize, like, changing that file name before you upload, huge difference.
I know, I'll admit I'm guilty of this. Like video 1, Final Cut, like why does it matter?
It matters a lot, yeah.
I mean, tell me why. Break it down.
It's SEO. It all comes back to SEO. Search engine optimization.
Okay.
And we think of that a lot of times as like a Google thing, but YouTube is Google. So like they're talking to each other, those algorithms, constantly.
Yeah.
So when you have that descriptive file name, you're telling both of them, this is what this video is about.
Oh, so you're saying like it helps it get picked up in searches both on YouTube and on Google.
On Google. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, Software King actually gave this example. They had an older video.
Okay.
And the file name was something super vague, like 3 steps. It told you nothing about what it was about.
Yep.
And they went back and they renamed it with actual keywords.
Smart.
And they were like, way more views just from that.
Oh, wow. Okay, so it's like you don't judge a book by its cover, but we all do. And that file name is kind of like the title, a little bit.
Yeah.
And speaking of covers, Software King also said renaming your thumbnail file before uploading is important. Huge. Because think about it. You're scrolling through, you're seeing all those thumbnails. What makes you click? It's that first visual thing. You want to make sure that that is eye-catching. It grabs the attention.
Yeah.
Because that's what people are going to see first.
Totally. And we're visual creatures, so
We are.
we've got the file name, we've got the thumbnail grabbing the attention.
Yes.
Now, descriptions and playlists, that seems like YouTube 101. But I have a feeling Software King's got some next level strategies for these too.
Absolutely.
Tell me more.
So the description, Software King emphasizes concise but strategic. 2-3 sentences max.
Wow.
But you've got to have those relevant keywords. Think of it like this is a mini ad for your video. You have to make them want to click.
Okay, so short, sweet.
Sweet.
Keywords in there.
Keywords, yes.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now playlists. I haven't put a ton of thought into this beyond grouping similar videos.
Yeah.
What's the strategy here?
So playlists are really interesting because it's twofold. They appeal to the algorithm.
So when you have your videos organized into playlists, it shows YouTube that your channel is well structured.
Makes sense.
Good user experience.
Right.
But then also think about it for the viewer. You find this great video, you're like, this is amazing. And then you see they have a whole playlist about that.
Yes.
Binging.
Yes.
You're going to keep watching.
Oh, it's like the difference between ordering one appetizer and then they bring you the whole sampler platter.
Exactly.
You're like,
Okay, I'm here for it.
I'm invested.
I'm invested. Exactly. Okay, playlists. Got it. Now, I want to talk about YouTube settings because this is something I feel like people don't talk about this enough.
No.
And Software King actually had a point about the upload defaults feature.
Yes. So important for efficiency
Okay.
because, you know, we want to make things easier. They actually recommend using those upload defaults to make a template for your descriptions.
So that way you're not typing it out every time. You can put your socials, your website, all that. It'll just automatically populate for your videos.
Yeah.
Saves you so much time.
Genius.
Right.
That is so smart.
Life hacks.
I know. Okay, and speaking of settings, something that maybe people don't even think about, the made for kids setting.
Ooh, yes. This is huge. And this is something that's important. And honestly, this is beyond like, is your content for kids?
Right.
Like if you mislabel this, it can really hurt you.
Got it.
So you want to make sure, even if your content's fine for kids, if it's not made for them, make sure it's marked that way.
Okay.
Because it changes how the algorithm recommends,
Right.
shows ads, all of that.
Right.
So you want to make sure that's correct because that can really limit your visibility, even your revenue.
That's a detail I would not have thought of.
Right?
It's interesting how these small things can have such a big impact.
Huge impact.
Okay.
But it's not all technical.
Okay. Tell me about that, because I was going to say, this has been great.
Yeah.
But we also want to remember there's a human on the other side of this, right?
Exactly.
So talk to me about that.
It's about remembering, at the end of the day, you're creating content for people.
Right.
Like, you have to connect with an actual human being.
People can spot a phony
100%.
like a mile away. So.
Yeah, if you're just like, robot algorithm, it's going to show.
Totally.
So you have to bring that human element into it.
Okay, so speaking of that human element, let's talk about tags, because I feel like tags are one of those things, you know? They seem straightforward enough, but I always get hung up on how many should I use, what's too many?
Right.
Like, what's Software King's perspective on this?
So they actually recommend using all 500 characters. Like, use as many as you can.
Really? Okay.
And be specific.
Okay.
Like, don't be afraid to get granular with it, because each tag is another way someone can find your video.
So it's not just like 3 big keywords, it's like really getting into it.
Yeah, getting into it. If someone's searching for something super specific,
right,
it could be that one tag that makes them find you.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about chapters, because I feel like I'm seeing chapters more and more on videos, but I'll be honest, I haven't gotten around to adding chapters to my videos. Is this something I need to be doing?
You do. And Software King, this is the cool thing about Software King, is that, like, they actually are all about working smarter, not harder. So they let YouTube generate them automatically.
Hold on, so you don't have to go in and do the whole timestamp thing for...
No. YouTube's gotten so smart.
Really?
That it can actually detect those natural breaks.
What?
In the content and make chapters for you.
Okay, that's amazing, because I feel like, especially with longer videos, that would take forever to do.
Hours.
But why are chapters so important?
Well, first of all, it just makes a longer video way more digestible. Because no one wants to watch, you know, a 30-minute video that's just one long thing, right?
Right.
So it gives people the opportunity to be like, okay, I'm really interested in this part.
Right.
I can jump to this. Or I can watch the whole thing, but at least I have those breaks.
And I've noticed, too, that when a video has chapters, it'll show those little timestamps in the search results.
Yes.
So it's like, people can kind of be like...
A little sneak peek.
Yes.
See if they want to watch it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Chapters. Got it. I'm adding chapters, now end screens. These are, again, one of those things where I feel like it's an afterthought.
Yes.
You put so much emphasis on the beginning, but really, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. You want that end screen to be strong.
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
You're not done yet.
Right.
You got to stick with it until the very end. And Software King is all about that minimalist approach with end screens. Because you don't want to overwhelm people with like a million CTAs. Like, subscribe here, watch this video, go to my website, pick like 1 or 2 things that are the most important.
So are you saying, like, if my main goal is to get people to subscribe to my channel,
Yes.
that should be the only thing
Just
on the end screen?
that's it, yeah. Or like, watch another video.
Okay.
So that, you know, it's very clear, not overwhelming.
Got it.
And it's going to get them to do what you want them to do.
Because if you give too many choices, then they're just...
They click nothing. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like that whole thing. If you're trying to pick a restaurant with a friend,
Right.
if there are too many things on the menu, you're like, I don't know.
Analysis paralysis.
Yes. Okay. End screens. Minimalist.
Minimalist, yes.
Got it. I love how, with all of this, Software King really practices what they preach.
Yes.
Like, they are in the trenches. They're showing you their screen.
Yeah, you can tell that they're so passionate about it too, which is, I think, so important.
Yeah. It's like, it's one thing to hear someone talk about it, but it's another thing to be like, no, I'm actually doing this.
Yes.
And here's how I do it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it's like they're giving you their secrets.
Yes. Okay, so now that we're sort of coming to the end of talking about Software King's tips here, what advice did they have for, like, new YouTubers? Someone who's just starting out, maybe they watch this and they're like, oh my God, I have so much to do.
Right.
What did they say?
One thing they really emphasized was consistency.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to upload every day.
Right.
But have a schedule you can stick to.
Makes sense.
Whether that's once a week, twice a week, whatever works for you. Because people are going to see, okay, they're uploading, they're active, I'm going to subscribe.
Right, because if you go to someone's page and their last video was from 3 years ago, you're like, are you still doing this?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Consistency, I like that.
Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then from there, the more you upload, the more data you have, the more you can analyze.
Figure out what works.
What's working, what's not working, exactly.
Yeah, because the algorithm's always changing, so you got to be willing to adapt. Always be adapting, yes.
So with all of this talk about optimization and algorithms, it's easy to get swept up in that.
Totally.
But I think it's important to remember, like, why do we actually create in the first place?
Yes. Why are we doing this? What's the point?
Exactly.
And it comes back to connection. Mm-hmm. Like, as humans, we want to connect with other people.
Right.
We want to share our passions. We want to share our stories.
Totally.
We want to share our unique perspective. And you can't get that from an algorithm.
Yeah. And I think that's actually a really beautiful thing to remember, especially when those view counts are feeling low.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this? It's for the connection.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we wrap up this deep dive into YouTube optimization with Software King, what final thoughts do you want to leave our listener with today?
I would say, think about everything we've discussed. All of Software King's amazing tips, and think about what really resonated with you. What can you apply, not just on YouTube, by the way, but on any platform you're on?
Oh, that's such a good point.
Right, because it all it translates across the board.
Yeah.
So are you using keywords effectively? Are you thinking about your titles? Are you engaging?
Yeah. Are you making those human connections, really?
Exactly.
Yeah. So it sounds like if you want to unlock that YouTube potential,
yes,
it's about more than just hitting upload. Right?
But no, it's a whole strategy.
It's about optimizing every single thing to get it seen.
Optimize, 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 and have fun. Don't forget to have fun.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, if you're not enjoying it,
right, what's the point?
What are we doing?
Exactly. Well, this was so insightful. I feel like I've leveled up my YouTube knowledge, and more importantly, I just feel inspired to go make some awesome content.
I love that. That's the goal.
So that's a wrap on this deep dive into YouTube optimization. We'll catch you next time for another deep dive into the digital world.
Until then, keep creating.